sorry about the delay. um, I guess I didn't fix the internet issue. I thought I did. So if the stream decides to cut off at a random point today, then it wasn't me. If I don't say goodbye, then it's not me ending the stream. I don't. Thought it was the bit rate, because I had the bit rate on OBS set very low originally. To be honest, I had no idea what it was. Did some research, and it turns out that has to be up around 6,000 to 7,000. So I turned that up a lot. And it turns out YouTube still only accepts like 1,500 of that. So I don't really know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So those are kind of the issues I'm working through. I did try to get here for the Frontier A321. Unfortunately, I got here as I was pushing back, and I was not able to get set up before it took off. So, but we do have this American A321 and quite a few flights here at the gates at the moment. So we should be all good on that end in terms of just action. I'm gonna see if I can get this live chat set up. I'm scared to touch my computer because I feel like every time I do, it screws things up. So, I apologize. I'm trying, I promise. I want a smooth stream probably 5 times more than you guys do. Yeah, now it's saying my bit rate's too low, even though it is absolutely not. Well, we'll see what happens in the next couple minutes. I'm gonna wait to do my grand introduction for y'all until I'm confident in the stream here. Give me 1 sec. Trying to get the live chat going. I remember last time it broke, so I just got rid of it, but let's see here. There we go, that's working. Now the real question is, can I click off of it? Oh, there we go. That was the big issue last time, is I would click off and it would stay on the screen. Alright, so we got our chat going. Again, the big prayer is just to keep the bit rate up. I think it's entirely on YouTube to do that at this point. I don't think there's a whole lot I can do. Okay, got some A10s taken off here. Alright, we'll go ahead and do our grand introduction. We'll see what happens. I want to be out here for a few hours, so if it does cut off, I'll just start a new stream. But let's just hope and pray. Pray to whatever god you worship, or whatever you, I don't know. Let's pray that this doesn't end on me. Alright, well, welcome back to yet another legitimate aviation live stream. My name is Devin. I'm your one and only host here atop the Boise Airport parking garage on this fine but fairly toasty Thursday afternoon. It is August 21st. The local time here in Boise is not on the screen. I'm not really sure why. Huh. Well, it's 12:57 p.m. here local time. I'm not gonna try to get the time on the screen at the moment. I think that's an issue for later. I think I exited out of it. I was trying to cut a bunch of my tabs out. I think that might have been one of them. But anyway, we're here, and that's what matters. We're gonna be here for as long as I possibly can. I've got 2 batteries, so we'll see how long those last. And of course, the internet. Thank you so much, Captain Mickey, for joining us here, being our moderator for today's stream. He's our one and only moderator. So pay him the respects that he deserves. Kidding, kinda. I don't know what that is, but it's kind of on camera. I can't see it. It's too small. Anyway, our next departure is going to be an Alaska E-175 going out somewhere. Let's see where it's going. I got my flight radar pulled up here. It's going to Santa Ana, California. Also known as John Wayne, also known as Orange County. And I'm sure people have other names for it. So, yay, that's cool. Our next departure is going to be, after that one, is going to be the, an Alaska E-175 going to Burbank, California. Followed by a Southwest 737-800 going to Chicago Midway. All right. And if you are just tuning in, oh my goodness, my English just died there. If you are just tuning in and you are liking what you're seeing, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're trying to reach 750 subscribers by the end of the year, which personally I do not think is that much of a, it is possible, I think. And of course, if you're liking the stream, be sure to hit that like button, ring that bell, all that good stuff. I know I did not say that in order, but whatever, you get what I mean. Let's try to hit like 17 likes on a day stream. We're already at 6 likes, which is incredible, considering the first 5 minutes of the stream was just kind of silence. So thank you all so much for that. That was the E-175 going to Santa Ana, California. Captain Mickey says, keep an eye out for Southwest coming from Phoenix shortly. Will do, Captain. Will do. Alright, yeah, we do. I wonder if that's the Phoenix flight. We do have another arrival here. That is a massive fly. Oh my goodness. Is that a horse fly? I don't know if I want to know. I don't even know if horse flies are here. Oh, that's the American. Okay. Good stuff. Oh man, those YouTube warnings just frighten me. Oh man, I don't have enough bitrate to have a smooth stream. Which is absolute absurdity, if that's even a word. Alright, anyway, we're gonna just keep going until it stops, if it stops, and hope it doesn't stop. And this is a, what is it, Mitsubishi now? I think it's Mitsubishi, CRJ 700. Their daily traffic just stopped. To be fair, Alaska started flying to Phoenix. Aviation already flew there, Southwest already flew there, so there's quite a few different flights. Come on, YouTube. Sorry, I'm rooting on the YouTube streaming platform because it's not very good. If there's one thing I wish YouTube could focus on, it's the live stream platform, because I could never get this thing to cooperate. And I don't feel bad scolding YouTube on live streams. I really don't think it's my fault, and if it is my fault, I wish YouTube would tell me what is my fault. But it doesn't, so I'm kind of at a loss here. So it's struggling at the moment. Sorry for the glitchity. Anyway, not a whole lot going on, so if there's a time for it to glitch or whatever, it'd be now. Captain says next jet is... I think that's probably about as focused as it's going to be. Alright. Man, I never relax during these streams. It's always going back and forth. Yeah, and then it says... Dude, these ones... I don't know what's going on. We'll just leave it. My camera's already getting extremely hot. And here in about probably 75 minutes, it'll be going right back out to Phoenix. Oh, too far. We'll be right there. You really won't see much, but... You know, maybe it would help if I close some of these other tabs. Dude, I cannot line myself up to have shade, goodness gracious. Alright, close a bunch of my tabs here. Didn't realize how many tabs I had open. There we go. Alright. And if you are there, if you're somewhere on the other side of the screen, be sure to say hi. I love being able to talk to people during these. If you're curious, when you do live streams like this and you're a small streamer, you really have to learn how to talk to yourself, because you really aren't actually talking to anybody unless they're chatting. And so I am literally, just imagine if you just got rid of all of my camera and computer, I would look like a crazy person, because I'm just talking to myself constantly. The trick is to talk to yourself in a way that sounds like you're talking to somebody else. That's the trick. It's a really strange hobby if you think too much about it. But nonetheless, I'm doing it. Anyway, our next departure is going to be an Alaska E-175 going to Burbank, California. I've been to Burbank before. I didn't do a whole lot there, but I've been there. I think that's the airport you usually fly in to go to, like, Universal Studios and stuff. But I don't have the money for Universal Studios, so I think I used it as a connection. Anyways, yeah, we'll get a nice shot of this airplane lineup we got going on here. We got 2 Deltas and a United kind of lined up there. Really cool stuff. By the way, today is likely my last stream here in Boise for a while. Not to say I'm done streaming, but I'm going back up to Vancouver, British Columbia for another 8 or 9 months. So I will be continuing my live streams there for the time being, but I will be back here in Boise come early May. So that'll be pretty epic, pretty awesome. Otherwise, yeah, we're gonna try to have a good stream today and kind of just go from there. We'll check the, sometimes this live chat doesn't update here, so I'm like updating my chat. Yeah, looks like I missed a few things. You see this Backpack United, one from Denver, one from San Francisco. Yeah, I do see. Well, so United actually, they're changing their mainline operations, so they have 2 mainline flights here at once, which is fantastic. And so they'll have a mainline for San Francisco and a mainline from Denver coming in about the same time. Universal and Disneyland is S&A for them. Burbank, well, I mean, Burbank, it's Burbank Hollywood Airport. It's the closest airport to Hollywood, and Universal Studios is in Hollywood. So I know, because Disneyland is in Santa Ana, or Anaheim technically. So I think it's kind of a different airports depending on where you want to go. But yeah, I don't know. The Burbank airport as of now, I cannot stand. It was not a good airport to be stuck in for hours. But I've heard they're remodeling the whole thing, so that would be pretty good. Yeah, Disneyland passengers do use S&A because it's closer. For sure, I agree with you there. That is, I don't actually think the airport's even that far at all. Like, I think it's maybe, you know, without traffic, I don't know. But I think it's only like maybe a 20-minute drive from the airport, maybe 30 minutes. I wouldn't know. I've never flown through Burbank to go to Disneyland, but yeah, no, Burbank is losing a Velo, that's for sure. Which is crazy, because that was their inaugural city, and they just ditched. I'm like, whoa. It's insane. They just cut all of their operations. I'm like, that's no way to make friends. All the people who used to fly a Velo are not going to trust a Velo anymore because they just ditched. It wasn't just like one route. Like, sure, I understand if they ditched, you know, Burbank to Medford or whatever, some tiny route. But they just got rid of all of them at once. And I'm like, that's rough, dude. Luckily, Alaska came in clutch and saved everyone. Shannon, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a great day so far. Thanks for coming out and joining us. We are hopefully just getting started here. The stream's treating me okay so far, so we'll see what happens. And by stream, I do not mean the people on the stream. I mean the technology involved. All right, anyway, our next departure is going to be that E-175 all the way back there, which you cannot see. It's going to be heading out to Burbank, California. Oh, there we go. My bitrate's doing a lot better. It now says 5200. That's more of what it should be. YouTube recommends 6,000 to 7,000. How do I convince YouTube to accept more bitrate? I don't know. I have no idea. But now it sounds like it's at least getting more. I don't know if it's just a slow process for it to understand that I'm offering more. I don't even know. I really still don't know what bitrate is, honestly. I am a streamer, but I'm not a super knowledgeable streamer. I am learning every stream. I've been doing this for almost 2 years now, on and off, and I still don't know everything there is to stream. I still have probably the most stream setup you can possibly have. So, we'll see. Anyway, I heard Alaska got a new mileage program. It's called Atmos. And now nobody's gonna remember that. Because, like, you know, mileage plan is such a simple name that, like, even somebody who's never used the mileage plan, if they were wondering about it, they'd ask, oh, what's the mileage plan called? And that's what it's called. And they would be saying the name without knowing it. And, you know, if you're sharing, you know, information about it, not, you know, being a part of Alaska, just as a random person, and you're like, oh yeah, I use the Alaska mileage plan, even if you didn't know what it was called, like, you're already self-advertising for the program. And now it's called Atmos, like Dolby Atmos. I'm sorry, I like making fun of companies. I'm sure they know a whole lot more than I do. So it'll tell you something if they take what I'm saying seriously. That means I was actually right, which would be funny. So, dude, what is this fly doing? It's not like flying around me. It's just like chilling next to me. It's like on my like next to my laptop, just walking around. My little buddy for the stream. It's my pet. Now it's don't press a key. I know you're on the keyboard. You better not press that key. Alright, anyway. See what I mean? This whole thing is just about talking to yourself. Anyway, I believe that next arrival coming in is that United coming in from Denver, Colorado. That's a 737-800 actually. Followed by... So let's get that on camera. Where are ya? There she is. And if you're wondering, like, why, Devin? Why aren't you zooming in more? That's because I can't. I'm working on it, I promise. I'm gonna get a new lens in the next X amount of time. I don't know how long it's gonna be, because I don't have the money. Right? Okay, I'll be honest. I'm saving up for two things right now. I'm saving up for college, and I'm saving up for a really awesome trip that is going to be posted on my channel that I'm not going to give you any details of, because as soon as I release a detail, it's going to change. But it's a really awesome, cool, epic trip that you guys are going to absolutely love. Probably won't be a live stream trip, but it'll be like trip reports if you like flight reviews and stuff. If you like my flight reviews, then it'll be good stuff. And that's going to be next summer, and I have no idea if I'm going to be able to afford it, but we're going to see. So that's why I'm not paying $200 for a lens, is because I plan to spend $2,000 on a trip. Priorities, am I right? It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. It's kind of like my one big summer trip, and I'd like to just have a moment. And by that time, I'll be just running out of content for flight reviews. I believe I have enough through the beginning of May. Anyway, this next arrival actually, is going to be a United Airbus A319 coming in from San Francisco, California. This flight is 4 times daily, 3 on regional and 1 on mainline, sometimes 5, but... And if you are a person who really likes Airbus A319s, be sure to hit that like button. have a live chat pop out, and it sometimes just doesn't like work, which is crazy because it's directly from YouTube. So let me go ahead and refresh. Great, and I don't have issues. And then there's days like today. There we go. Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, okay. Captain's basically just saying the stuff that I was saying. So no worries. Thanks for doing that, though. All right, and if you are new to the channel, and you're not subscribed, why? What's wrong with you? No, I'm kidding. But seriously, if you're not subscribed and you are enjoying the stream, might as well ring that bell, get notified, because guess what? I'm not going to tell you when I'm streaming next. You just have to know. But you just have to know. But in all seriousness, I'm trying to reach 750 subscribers by the end of this year. We're so close and yet so far. If we could get a solid 15 subscribers from today's stream, I would greatly appreciate it. That would be above and beyond. If we get more than that, we could hit like 17 likes on today's stream, maybe even more. Last time we hit 40, so I feel like I might be setting pretty low goals here. Again, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, be sure to hit that like button. Alright, and the next arrival is going to be an Alaska E-175 coming in from Los Angeles, California. I was going to do something, and I don't remember what that thing I was going to do was. Alright, we're at 599 subscribers. I feel like I do not need to finish that sentence. I feel like you know exactly what I am going to say. Anyway, this next departure is going to be the Southwest 737-800 going to Chicago Midway. This is one of not even one flight a day. It's like a couple flights a week maybe. Seasonal too, summer seasonal. They do Midway in the summer and then they do winter, which is kind of an interesting setup. They used to do them both in the summer, and then they stopped. But I'm glad they still have both flying at some point. It's always nice to have extra options. Captain, where's the American from Chicago? Because I know they have a Chicago mainline flight, but I saw it was delayed till like 2 o'clock. So I'm just curious where exactly it is. I could look myself, but it sounds like you're constantly on flight radar, so I might as well ask the genius, right? Obviously, if you don't like me asking you to do that stuff, just tell me. But it seems like you're pretty on top of it, so I just kind of, just kind of a question I ask. But I guess anyone can answer those questions. It doesn't have to be one person. Alright, anyway, it looks like that Southwest is just gonna go for it. So I think we have our departure here next. Maybe not. I mean, we only have one runway operating at. Is gonna be on the same runway. So there's only so many options. Alright, we've officially hit the 37-minute mark of the stream, which for you doesn't matter. But it is another one of those moments that are risky when it comes to the stream just cutting off. It seems like it's like the 15, 35-ish, and then the hour mark that it just dies, and then the 2-hour mark. And then after that, after 2 hours, it just works perfectly. I could go for like 5 hours after that. But it's those times in between that it just likes to just quit. Horizon coming in from LAX before. Oh, that was, I guess, a while ago. Well, this is that Horizon coming in from Los Angeles, all the way in the background. Captain saying, why can't they use the second runway? Is there a reason? Yes, actually, there is a reason. It is under some kind of construction. I'm not exactly sure what. But I mean, they are prepping the airport to have a whole extra concourse. Man, I cannot see the airplane. A whole extra concourse. So I think what they're trying to do is have everything brand spanking new, so that when they, have an additional 70 daily flights over time, of course, they'll be able to handle it smoothly for a short period of time at least. So at some point they plan, I don't know if you see on Flight Radar how the runways are organized, they're kind of offset. At some point they plan to align those. So they're like, right next to each other. I don't know when. They're supposed to do it like 4 years ago, but COVID just screwed everything up. The new concourse was supposed to be opening this year, just to put that into perspective. I know, this year. It's supposed to open this year. I'm going to want to check my subs. I feel like I'm going to want to check them regardless. But let me go check them out. That's a Delta 737-800 going to Atlanta, by the way, in case you're wondering. Hey! We've just hit 601 subscribers. We are officially a multi-600 air. Oh yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for your support there. Is that San Francisco flight leaving already? That was like 15 minutes. What is this? I'm gonna show you guys. Hey, where is it going? It just got here. I'm so confused. Usually it's there for like an hour. But I mean, I guess we have another departure. Like right next to where I stream. And the wasps, they don't bother me, which is kind of a miracle. I'm grateful for that, actually. But they're there, and they fly around everywhere except where I'm standing, which is crazy. A little worrisome, but, they're not bothering me, and I'm not bothering them. So, it works. It's the flow of life. I don't know. Oh, where is he going? Uh-oh. Oh, no, it's going back. Okay. My YouTube platform is basically going in between no data and there's not enough video to maintain a smooth stream. And neither of those two things I can fix. What on earth? Oh. Did it have to move because of the Alaska? I don't think so. Pretty sure they can handle a mainline flight there with the Alaskas pushing back. But if you look, there is the Alaska over there, that tail, it's pushed back. I'm curious if they had to repaint some things or whatever and they had to move. That's not very good planning. I have no idea. I'm completely guessing. All right, anyway, it doesn't really matter. We're gonna focus on this Delta over here because that's actually doing something. And that's the Atlanta flight. Delta flies between 1 and 2 flights a day to Atlanta. They're the only airline that has like a solid red-eye flight out of here, which is really cool. JetBlue used to have a red-eye to New York for about 3 months. I was on that inaugural. Go ahead and check out that video. Self-advertising, am I right? But yeah, then they didn't end it at the end of the season. They ended it like 4 months later. It was a seasonal flight, and it was scheduled to return until like February of the next year. And they're like, never mind. And I was kind of bummed, actually, because it was really our only East Coast flight besides Atlanta, but that's not really the coast. That's inland. It's more than like 10 miles from the coast, so I don't count it as a coastal city. Sorry. APU is on that AA at gate 18 because they have to push back. Well, they probably will be pushing back, but I'll show you. The jetway is still connected, and the baggage belt is still there. So whether they're pushing back or not, it'll probably be about 5 or 10 minutes before it starts pushing back. Probably closer to the 10-minute mark. But it is about time for that plane to leave. So I don't know about you, but the A321 looks 100 trillion times better with those winglets. Those shark tips or whatever they're called look pretty, I mean, they look good in some cases. But on the A321, it just kind of looks wrong. I don't know. You could disagree with me if you want. It doesn't matter. Okay, so I guess they did have to move out of the way. That's crazy. That is actually kind of crazy that they had to do that. I'm curious why. If you work at the Boise airport and you're watching the stream, I would love to know why, if that's something that I'm allowed to know. Also, sorry for making fun of the airport. I will do that. Any airport I go to, I will be extremely grateful for being here, but I will also make fun of it because why not? Oh man. They have a delayed flight coming to gate 18. I bet you that's the American A319 from Chicago. There's only Come on. Don't do this to me. Oh my goodness. Gives me like a panic attack every time it says no data. It switches back and forth and it just makes me anxious. Come on. Yeah. Again, if you're just joining us and the stream randomly cuts off and I didn't say have a great rest of your day or something to that effect, that probably means I did not mean to end the stream. And it was not me ending the stream. Which means I'll probably be back after. Or if not, I will announce something in the community page or whatever it's called, saying that I'm done. Well, while we're waiting for, oh my goodness. I don't know if I'll be able to catch it on camera though, that's so small. There's a plane doing like a full-on like sharp 180 onto the runway. I'm not really sure where it is on the screen. Should be like right next to the FedEx tail, but up to the left. That's a tiny little light. It did like a full 180, hitting the ground soon. not sure how much of the landing will actually catch because it is very small. Yeah, I don't even see it, honestly. I don't even know where it is on the screen. I need my zoom back. I miss my 70 times optical zoom or whatever it was on that old camera. Saying no data again. Oh boy. It waits. It waits until the very last second to go back saying there's something being sent to the screen. And gives me anxiety every time, and I will probably bring it up most of those times. I'm gonna grab some water real quick. Hopefully that Delta doesn't take off immediately. And hopefully you can't hear my swallowing either. I never actually really thought about that. You probably can. Ooh, gross. Captain saying Minneapolis Delta coming in shortly. I believe that's a 737-900, right? 900ER or whatever. When you're out here so much, you start to just know what aircraft is flying what route at what time. Everything is the same here, you know. You could come out here a year later and the schedule would be practically the same. Like for the last 7 years, Delta has had a Minneapolis flight leaving at around 5 a.m., 5 to 6 a.m., and a flight leaving between 2 and 4 p.m. And then in the summertime, they add a morning flight as well sometimes. And I can say that with complete confidence. You can fact check that. I think I just pushed that out of focus. Oopsies. That's even worse. Sorry, I'm going off of like a really tiny screen here. I think that looks good. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. All right, now it looks like that American is going to be pushing back. Did I see American from Chicago yet? Not yet. I was actually kind of curious where it is, because it's definitely not here. Let me check Flight Radar, see if it's, looks like it's coming in about 6 minutes. And that's going to be followed directly by the Delta flight from Minneapolis. And that's going to be followed by probably something else. We will find out. And this is the American Airlines Airbus A321 with the Sharklets going out to Dallas-Fort Worth today. This is one of 3 daily flights to Dallas, I think. Got one in the morning, and one in the afternoon. Originally, back in like April, they had a scheduled flight for 2 a.m., like a red-eye flight, which I was really excited for because that's such a unique thing for Boise. But that didn't happen. American Airlines 2296 is a delayed flight. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And it's probably Chicago's fault, let's be honest. Oh. Oh, $22.95. Close enough. It's, I guess the flight number change is pretty important. All right, and we got a couple more arrivals here, as well as this departure that you're kind of looking at. Let me move the camera. That's kind of the next little bit of action. Got 2 American flights and a Delta flight. I bet Captain Mickey's gonna keep you up to date if I miss something, because he's doing a fantastic job of that. Appreciate it as well. It's kind of hard to show the appreciation sometimes, just because all I can do is say it. But I do greatly appreciate your help there. All right. Says, hey Devin, did you ever rewatch and see when the Dallas-Fort Worth pilots shined their lights last stream? Yes, I did actually. And as far as I can tell, I'm pretty sure it was not what it seemed like. It looked like it was a reflection, like the sun beaming off of one of the electronics inside, and it was flashing because they were moving around, stuff like that. I could be wrong. It's hard to see exactly what's going on in there, but it was beaming for quite a while before it started moving. So it was not the pilots. I could be 100% wrong, but that was my observation that I made there. Anyway, the local time here in Boise is 1:45 p.m. If you're just joining us, my name is Devin. Welcome to the greatest aviation live stream here in Boise. It's Devin. Welcome to the greatest aviation live stream here in Boise. I'm up atop the Boise Airport parking garage. If you are new to the channel or you are liking what you're seeing, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're trying to reach 750 subscribers by the end of the year. I greatly appreciate all your support. Be sure to hit that like button as well. And we are gonna keep on rolling here. We got a couple of arrivals lined up here as well as a couple departures, including but not limited to a firefighter jet. I don't really know what to call those. The plane has a name, but like the actual type of plane. Firefighter airplane thing. Anyway, the next arrival here on the board is going to be that American Airlines Airbus A319 coming in from Chicago O'Hare. This is one of just one single daily flight for American from Chicago. Used to be operated as a regional, then it got discontinued, and then it came back as a regional flight, but they transferred it to a mainline flight, which is always exciting. And it's supposed to be mainline, I think, through October. We'll see if they extend it further. I honestly wouldn't mind even just a seasonal mainline Chicago flight, because it just adds to the mix, you know? Makes things more interesting. And that firefighter jet is not on the board here. So I apologize. I have no idea what kind of airplane it is. It's either the Avrojet or the BAE 146. I struggle to tell the difference sometimes when I'm not super educated on those kinds of airplanes. So my apologies. But anyway, this next arrival is going to be the Delta 737-900ER coming in from Minneapolis, St. Paul. This is one of 3 daily flights. 2 or 3. And I'd just like to say thank you all so much for getting us to 16 likes on today's stream. If we could get to like 25 by the end of the day, that would be absolutely incredible. I'd greatly appreciate your help getting us there. We're doing pretty fantastic with subscribers too. I think we've already gotten like 8 or so, which is pretty good. We're at 604. If we could get to like 610 by the end of the stream, that would be miraculous. Beyond what I would be hoping for. I mean, it's hard to expect any amount of subscribers, you know, because it's entirely up to the audience. So like, any subscriber is a great subscriber. Love it. Otherwise, we got another departure here. This is that firefighter jet. Probably going out to McCall, where the forest fire is. I drove by that recently. It must have started fairly close to when I was out in McCall, because it was pretty small, but yeah, I definitely saw all of the planes you see here for firefighting. They're all flying around there, dumping water and whatnot. Dude, is this fly okay? He's been like walking around my computer like the entire stream. He has not flown away. That is not a normal thing for a fly to do. Alright, I don't know if any of you guys watching are flies, but I bet you fly more than this guy's flying. Alright, that was a joke, obviously. Don't overthink it. And the next departure is the American Airlines Airbus A321 going to Dallas Fort Worth. This guy has a little bit better than a normal A321. And if you haven't yet, be sure to say something in the chat. Be sure to say hi or ask questions, comments, concerns, complaints. Doesn't matter, I'll see it and respond to it. Get the conversation rolling today. And I don't know what is next in terms of like departures and stuff. I guess we'll zoom in for now so you can see kind of the tarmac action, since there's not a whole lot going on. Yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and check the good old flight radar here. See what's going on. What's our next departure? It's gonna be, I don't know. Next arrival. I don't really know. Got that Delta over there. Alright, I'm adjusting my filter to just have Boise Airport, which I should have done a long time ago. Looks like our next arrival is probably going to be the Alaska E-175 from Seattle, followed by not a whole lot. There's another flight from Seattle, that's a 737-9. In terms of departures, It's going to be that E-175 you're looking at right there going to Seattle, another E-175 on United going to Los Angeles, and then a bunch more E-175s going Spokane, Seattle, and then we got 2 mainline United flights. That's kind of the next hour worth of departures. Alright, sorry, I have to keep refreshing my chat because I missed a lot. Mike7896 says, why is the video lagging? That's a great question. That's the age-old question here at Legitimate Aviation. Why is the screen lagging? I am out of ideas. I don't really know at this point. I thought it was the bit rate. That's what it says it is, but bit rate, and it still says there's not enough bit rate. So I put it to YouTube standards and everything. Jim Roddy says, hello, thanks so much for being here, Jim. Glad you could join us. Apologize I'm getting to your message so late here. And then Baseball R Us says, are you actually on the tarmac area or outside the airport? That's a great question. I'm actually up on the parking garage right outside the tarmac. So I'm not on the tarmac. It would be really cool if I was, but I'm not. Yeah, okay, yeah, looks like, oh, thanks, Captain, for answering that question. Appreciate ya. Captain saying, does the Alaska-Seattle flight have the new livery? I don't think the E-175s are going to have the new livery, at least for a while. The official announcement said it's only their 787s, which is still astonishing that they have 787s. I'm a little confused, but I'm also really excited. It's so nice to finally have another U.S. airline having, like, wide-body flights. It's one of the most refreshing things that could happen, is finally having an additional wide-body U.S. carrier. Throws competition into the mix, which is always good. It'll probably bring prices down a little bit. So I am never complaining when they do that. There is a chance I might be on the inaugural 787 flight. Maybe not the first one, but the first one to, I think, London. It's either London or Rome. I forget, whatever flight leaves in May. I might be on that one if my original trip plans fall through. That's my backup. Unless I can get business class on that flight for really cheap, then I might just skip my original plans and do that. Because I'd love to try out their business class cabin. I don't mean $6,000, I mean like $1,500 or like maybe $2,000. All right, and this is a Delta E-175, if you couldn't tell. Going out to Seattle. All right, and just a friendly reminder, if my stream ends and I didn't say my outro, that probably means I didn't mean to end the stream. So just putting that out there, because it probably will end at some point, randomly. And I may or may not come back. If I don't, I will make an announcement of it. But I just have pretty bad connection here, so just complete straight stream so far, so we're doing okay. Thank you so much for being here and supporting me as well. Baseball R Us says, I'm making $2 a day on my YouTube channel. Are you doing better than me? Well, I don't know. I might but YouTube requires me to have 3,000 watch hours, of which I have not hit yet. So I don't make any money, but that doesn't mean that my content isn't good enough to make money. So that's a great question. $2 a day is not bad at all, though. That's $60 a month. Where's the fire aircraft? Well, it's somewhere between here and northern Idaho at this point. It's already taken off, but it'll probably be back in the next 10 minutes. Alright, what's my battery looking at? Okay, I got plenty of battery. That plane right there is going to be our next departure. Oh, okay, falling on a threshold. Have to make $100 a month or they don't send you a check. Oh, that's good to know. I mean, I didn't expect to make money off this for at least 3 years from now. I'm literally doing this out of straight passion. Like, I'm here because I like watching airplanes and I like talking to you guys. Would I like to make money off this? Oh, 100%. But I'm not. So, you know. And by the time I do make money, you know, for the first 2 years of making money, it's pretty much just going to be paying off all the stuff that I've spent on this in the past few years. You know, flights and stuff and live streams are not cheap. And I have intentionally flown on like 6 flights during a trip just so that I could get content for this channel. So it's not like, you know, it's not like I'm just throwing out whatever. I'm always plotting. I'm always planning. Even if it looks like I've run out of ideas, I guarantee you I've got a list of ideas here that I'm just waiting for the right time. Anyway, the next departure here, besides that Delta, is going to be this United straight ahead. It's going to be going out to Los Angeles, California. Neither did I, or 2 videos that almost went viral. Yeah, I mean, that's the way to do it. I've had a couple videos, I don't know what the official definition of viral is. For aviation content, I feel like I've had a couple of viral videos. Several that have gotten, you know, 6, 7, 8,000 views, which isn't, you know, a ton, but it's for a channel like mine, that's pretty incredible numbers, I think. And those have helped me dramatically. Like those videos are always a positive. All right, looks like we also have another departure. It's going to be an American CRJ 700 going to Phoenix. Yay. All right. And we're just waiting for a small charter plane to land here real quick, which is going to be completely too small to try and videotape, but you know, you'll see it a little bit probably. Thank you guys so much for 21 likes. Really do appreciate your support there. If you are watching the video and you happen to be the one guy or girl or whatever who isn't liking the video, you can change that. So I'm at about 2,400 watch hours right now, so I'm not too far away. People can super chat, you know, because that's like the most basic feature on live streams, and I'm not allowed to have that yet. Not that I expect any of you to necessarily donate, but in the event somebody was kind-hearted and had spare money and they wanted to, it would actually allow them. And I only have to be at 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours. For actual monetization, it's 4,000 watch hours. So I'm getting there. It's gonna be a while, but again, I'm not here to get monetized. I'm here to watch airplanes. That private jet is seriously inbound. It's like going down. Goodness gracious. I don't even think you'll be able to see it, but maybe you can. There we go, it's straightening out. That was a steep decline though. That was insane. Good luck on getting monetized, and you're inspiring me to go live on my drive home today. See how many viewers I get. Usually do baseball clips, but I'm trying to branch out. Ah, there you go. Yeah, I'll give you a fair warning. You know, the first 4 live streams at least are not going to do well. And you might luck out and have more success. But, you know, it probably won't get a ton of views the first time around, because especially if you don't do it often, no one's expecting it. No one, you know, you may or may not have a live stream base. And that's not me trying to discourage you. I'm just giving you the fair warning, because that's exactly what I went through. So that's just, you know, YouTuber to YouTuber tip right there. But yeah, that would be pretty cool. Live streams, personally I like live streams far better than editing videos. I do enjoy editing the videos and posting them, but being out here and being in the action is far superior. Where'd it go? There it is. And this is that American Airlines CRJ 700 going to Phoenix Sky Harbor. In terms of Alaska's old livery, well, it depends what you mean by old livery. Like the old livery, those are entirely all gone. In terms of like the 787s, every single other airplane that you're going to be seeing here is going to have that current dark blue livery. The face livery, as we can call it, or whatever. I don't know the proper term for it anymore. And if you are just joining us, the current local time here is 2:11 p.m. My name is Devin. I am your one and only host for Legitimate Aviation Live. We are here up atop the Boise Airport parking garage on this fine, beautiful, sunny, fairly toasty Thursday afternoon. If you are new to the channel or you are just joining us, be sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, ring that bell. We're trying to reach 750 subscribers by the end of the year and 25-ish likes by the end of the stream. If we can get more than that, fantastic. I probably will raise the goal. Thank you guys so much for getting us to 23 likes. Really do appreciate your support. And if you do want more content than just this, I do have Instagram as well. And we got a singing air show going on over here. Goodness gracious. We're going to get this on camera. Pretty sick. Didn't know that was gonna happen. Did I throw this out of focus again? No, I don't think I did. Okay, good. My 2,000 subscribers could drop my channel, actually, but worth the gamble. Oh, if they have a special livery. Oh, I don't know. Maybe. Let's check. There's nothing going on out here. 10:18. Do you know where that's coming from? Oh, okay. Seattle, Boise. I don't think so. Looks like just the regular livery to me. But Flight Radar's not always super up to date. Hey, thanks so much, Baseball R Us, for subscribing. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Appreciate you hopping in the chat there. Enjoy your baseball content, stuff like that. Dude, look at this. This fly has just been chilling here the whole time. No joke, like, since I've mentioned this fly the very first time, it has not flown away. It's like my friend. My little buddy, the fly. He's watching the airplanes too. I guess there's that. All right, and that next departure out all the way on the runway is going to be United E-175 going to Los Angeles, California. That is one of United's I think it's only one flight a day. Maybe it's two now. It goes back and forth. Both on the E-175. Why on earth there are 3 airlines that fly to Los Angeles and all use the E-175? No idea, but they do. It's kind of cringy, honestly. You'd think they could all just, you know, shorten things up and have one mainline flight a day each, and that would still cover all 3 busiest times of the day, and they'd all make just as much money. But, you know, they don't. They don't do that. You know, if you had one leaving in the morning, one leaving at around 1 or 2, and then one leaving at like 7 p.m., that would cover the busiest times in the day. And just have, you know, obviously the airlines don't work together on that kind of stuff, but they could. You know, if one airline has a mainline flight leaving in the morning, you're not going to make enough money to have another mainline flight, so just take over time in the evening. And then whoever doesn't last just gets the whatever's left over time. And bada bing, bada boom. Because personally, I don't like flying the E-175. I also don't like filming them. They're like pests around here. They're good airplanes in terms of like quality of airplane. Like I would prefer to fly on an E-175 than a CRJ-200. But like when that's all you fly and that's all you see, it gets old. Anyway, just kind of yapping at this point. And I apologize for the laggy stream. Again, I'm working on it. I'm running out of things to work on though. It's just internet connection issues. So I'll probably have to do some research, more research. Every time I think I've fixed the issue, it doesn't. All right, and what's this next arrival? I believe it's the Alaska E-175 from Seattle, but I don't know. I never actually thought about looking at arrivals here. Let's see. It is in fact that. Okay. Good stuff. And that's followed by absolutely nothing. Oh, well, I guess the other Alaska. And a Delta from LAX. I will say, as much as my computer is telling me there's no data, it's also telling me there's excellent connection a whole lot more. So I think maybe I just have to raise the bitrate more, like excessively more. That might just be it, but at the same time, the errors that it gives me says that it's not even accepting the bitrate that I'm giving it. It's only doing half. So I set it for like 7,000, I think. It's only taken like 3,200, which is obviously not 7,000. So, not really sure. Oh my dear goodness. And for those of you curious, this is going to be my last stream here in Boise for quite a while. Not going to say I'm not going to stream, but I'm actually going up to Vancouver, British Columbia for the next 8 months. So you'll have big airport action. which is probably what you want, let's be real. But Boise it's a seasonal airport technically for me, but it won't be seasonal starting next summer. It'll be my home airport once again. So don't you worry. But yes, YVR is making its grand return sometime in the next month or something. Depends how stressful everything is. I want to do more consistent streams, like weekly or whatever, but here it's one thing. In Boise, you just drive up to the airport, park, bada bing, bada boom. In Vancouver, it's a much more difficult process for me specifically. It's an hour commute carrying a bunch of stuff, so. The livery right there, you were just tracking for Alaska, I think. I mean, the one that just landed or the 737 that's coming in? I mean, they're both the same livery. Believe me, if there was a special livery, I would have announced it. At least so far. I only announce things that have actually landed, or landing, or taking off, kind of stuff. Sometimes I forget I have the mic on, so I'll just start singing. But you can't sing on stream because you'll get demonetized. Oh wait, I am not monetized, so it wouldn't make a difference. I believe that next departure is going to Spokane, but let's just double check. Yeah, look at that. I was right. Look at me go. Thank you so much for 610 subscribers. Really do appreciate your support on today's stream. If you do want to become a part of the legitimate aviation community and join me on all of my journeys across the planet and maybe beyond the planet at some point, that'd be cool. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, all that good stuff. Let's try to get to 750 subscribers by the end of the year. I think it's possible. Thanks so much for 25 likes on this stream. We're trying to get to, if we could beat our record of 40 likes in one stream, that would be pretty cool. 25 was the goal of today's stream, but we've hit it and we're not done. So might as well bump it up to 40. Thanks so much for enjoying the content, I guess. That's really what that means. I'm actually kind of amazed how many people are watching on a Thursday afternoon. Like, it's school time and it's a normal work day, and I still have a fair amount of viewers. So appreciate you, appreciate all of you who are here. I don't do Sunday live streams because I just don't. I don't really have a reason. And that's seemingly the time that everybody streams. But also, like, why would I stream when everybody else is streaming? Like, that doesn't make any sense. The distribution of viewers is too thin. it's spread too thin on Sundays. Why would I try to compete against, you know, airline videos live and LA flights? Looks like I got 14 concurrent viewers at the moment. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you are just joining us, be sure to grab some popcorn, grab some drinks, sit back, relax, and enjoy the amazing content I've got set up here for you. Again, just a friendly reminder that I have to make because of certain situations. If the stream randomly stops, it is not because I'm done streaming. It is because of my internet connection, and I will try to get it back up and running, or I will let you know in the community page. Because the last thing I want to do is end the stream accidentally. Everyone's like, oh, he's done, when in fact that was not the case. I'll probably actually put that in the description because it happens so much that I have to just restart that it's probably just worthwhile to just put it there permanently. Because there's a lot of traffic today, back-to-back arrivals. That's true. This is a pretty good time to stream. I know I stream around this time a lot, which makes it repetitive, but I'm not streaming every day either. So I do like streaming at this time because it's not peak heat, and it's also pretty busy. Because we also still have those 2 mainline United flights that landed earlier. Those have yet to depart, so we still got at least those, plus this American going to Chicago, plus that Delta going to Minneapolis. So we've got quite a few mainline flights in the works for departures. So hopefully that'll be good. Alright, in the meantime, it's kind of a waiting game. We've got 2 more arrivals coming in the next 10 minutes or so, 10 or 15 minutes. One's a mainline from Seattle and one's a Delta E-175 from Los Angeles. We'll see how long those take. Along with all the departures that I just mentioned, of course. If you are already subscribed and you do like having extra stuff to look at in your spare time, I do also have an Instagram page at @legitimate_aviation. I post a whole bunch of awesome plane spotting content on there, as well as up-to-date information of everything that happens with Legitimate Aviation brand, whether that's Instagram, YouTube, stuff outside of, social media, all that good stuff. You'll be the first to know if you're following me on Instagram. I put all of that on my stories. Honestly, if I do announce a YouTube stream, it'll be on Instagram and not YouTube. So that should be in the description. That should be automatically linked there. If it's not, you'll have to just look it up. But yeah, would greatly appreciate if you went and followed there as well. I also do all of my in the moment action when I'm traveling and stuff. I'll post, as it happens, pictures and stuff like that. And I post quite a few of them. It kind of depends where I'm going. If it's a flight I've done 65 times, like Denver to Boise, I will post less. But if it's something unique or something I haven't done before, I will definitely post quite a few pictures. And if I have Wi-Fi on the plane, I'll even post pictures on board. So definitely a lot of stuff that you don't get on YouTube. I feel like it's a fair amount, you know, a fair reason to go follow, but I don't know. I don't know if I understand the Instagram algorithm enough yet. I've been doing YouTube for so long, but Instagram is like, it's always been like the side hobby, not the main hobby. So this is not my first YouTube channel, by the way. It might look like it, but it's not. I've tried a ton of different things, and none of them worked. This is the first one that's worked, so I've stuck with it. So I've been doing YouTube since 2018. This channel was started in 2020. It used to have different content on it, and then in 2022, I believe, I switched it up to something new, and that was this. So, YouTube's giving me anxiety again, telling me I have no data on the stream. It seems to go back and forth, but there's no guarantee until it does. And it hurts my soul. Anyway, while we're waiting for something to happen, we'll go ahead and take a look at the concourse over here, or the terminal. That's where everything happens. That building in the works over there is the new rental car facility. It is going to be 7 times larger than the current rental car facility, which is entirely absurd. I'm amazed that they have that much demand for it, but nonetheless, Boise Airport, and that's phase 1. They're building a second part of it later. So kind of crazy how much they've got going on. On YouTube. Probably doesn't help that my computer is burning up. And if you do have any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, anything like that, feel free to say it in the chat. I will get back to you as soon as I can on stream and let you know whatever response is necessary. Local time here in Boise is 2:34 p.m. I apologize, I do normally have a clock on my stream. Unfortunately, I exited out of it, which was just a horrible idea. It took me a hot minute to get it figured out, so I am kind of hating myself for that one. But I'll hopefully get that clock back in the next couple of streams. Streaming issues with someone else? Okay, if you say so. Alright, and this American A319 is going to be pushing back here any second now. Just kidding, it's already pushing back. Alright. That guy's going to be going out to Chicago O'Hare. Yes, indeed, that was a plane that was delayed. I always wave, but it's a matter of whether they see me or not. Oh my goodness, how did I miss that? I missed an arrival. I didn't even see that. That is my bad. I can't even see it on screen. Well, that guy's coming in from Los Angeles, California. It's a Delta E-175. Shoot. Whoa. Oh, it's too sunny. I can't see where I'm pointing the camera. Well, there was just a massive A-10 maneuver that we completely missed. Oh well. That was cool though, just so you know. Alright, I gotta be more vigilant. I missed an arrival. You can't do that in an airport as small as Boise. There goes that American Airlines Airbus A319. We'll be seeing that guy here in just a little bit take off. Ah, nice and quiet. Looks like the United 737-800 going to Denver's pushing back at the gate here. Of departures. How do they turn that plane around in 48 minutes? I feel like 48 minutes is a fairly good amount of time. I mean, it's not great for, cleanliness, but like you can deboard a plane in 10 minutes, clean it in 7, and reboard. Something like that. I don't know how timing works. Alright, and that next departure up is going to be the American Airlines A319 going to Chicago O'Hare. Oh, where is it? What is it doing? Going the wrong way. Hey, Micah says greetings from Finland. Thanks so much for coming out and joining us here on today's stream. Glad you could be here. Let's see, it would be in Finland, it would be, what, 8 hours ahead? It's 2:44 p.m. here, so it's probably, what, close to 11 in Finland? All right, and we do have another arrival here. It's going to be the Alaska Boeing 737-900ER coming in from Seattle, Washington. Alaska currently has 5 mainline flights a day out of Boise. That is 2 to Seattle, 2 to Portland, and 1 to San Diego. They really like having mainline flights in the fall, which is pretty interesting because summer is actually the busiest season for us. Thank you guys so much for 30 likes on today's stream. Really do appreciate your support. We're trying to beat our record of 41 likes from the last stream. That is 41 likes within a single stream, like before it ends, kind of a thing. Good stuff. We're also trying to reach 750 subscribers by the end of the year. That is by the end of 2025. Alright, I'm going to run that United out there. Looks like the United A319 going to San Francisco is also pushed back at this point, so that'll be kind of our second in line for departures. I'm going to make sure I'm getting the destinations correct on these. Sometimes they swap them. Yes, okay, I'm getting them right. And in terms of arrivals, there's not a whole lot within the next few minutes. There's a Delta flight from Seattle on an E-175, and there's a Southwest 737-700 from Chicago Midway. Otherwise, that's about it for arrivals. And departures. After that Delta 737-900, it'll be fairly quiet for a bit. If you are just joining us, my name is Devin. Welcome to Legitimate Aviation Live. We are here up atop the Boise Airport parking garage here on this fine but hot Thursday afternoon. I try to do streams between once a month and once a week. Depends on my schedule. As much as I possibly can, though. Here out in Boise, this will be my last Boise stream for a while. I'm going up to Vancouver, British Columbia for about 8 months. So we'll be getting streams from up there as well. If you do like what you're seeing, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to get notified of all of the content that I post. I also do flight review content. Well, that's actually about it. Flight reviews and live streams. And be sure to hit that like button as well if you're enjoying today's stream. Really do appreciate your support. It really does mean a lot to me. Also be sure to follow my Instagram at legitimate_aviation. We do a bunch of plane spotting content on there, as well as in-the-moment action of all of my travels, and of course updates and everything on what is going on with the channel. Otherwise, we got a couple more departures here. We're kind of running through the last few before kind of our big break of the day. Just had... Can I get that on camera? I apologize. These are so small and my screen is so tiny. I don't think I'm going to see them, but I'm going to try. There we go. Look at that. That's pretty lit. I didn't realize there were multiple in the sky. I thought we saw the only two land, but I guess not. Alright, sorry, my live chat is not working very well. Okay, 11:45 p.m. I'm not sure how long ago you said that, but I did see it now. Okay, no, that's about what I was thinking. Okay, glad my time zone understanding is fairly accurate. Where's the San Diego flight? Well, okay, so the San Diego flight leaves at 7 a.m. I think it's a daily flight, so you wouldn't see it on the map. But I know as a fact it's there. So... At this point, they should be operated by 737s. So there's not a lot of mainline Alaska flights out of here, so which is surprising because I have 17 destinations. You'd think an airline with that many destinations would offer more mainline flights, but they don't. Dude, this YouTube thing is just so inconsistent. It'll say excellent connection, and then the next minute it'll say no data. Like there's no consistency with this connection. It's horrible. Alright, and those two planes in the background, those are our next two departures. And if you're sitting there being like, Devin, what's wrong with you? Why don't you zoom in? Well, I can't. I am still trying to get a better lens for this. I'm using, the old streams used I used a camcorder for those, and then it broke. And I tried to get it fixed, and the thing is indestructible. You cannot take it apart. And the piece that's broken happens to be inside the motherboard. So it's not worth it at this point to pay the money to get it fixed, because the rest of the thing still works. But if I try to go to a professional and get it fixed, it's going to be $200 or whatever. They're going to charge me a stupid amount of money. So instead, I'm using this camera, which works just as well. I just don't have good zoom at the moment. So over time, you know, as the channel grows, hopefully the zoom capabilities will too. Anyway, next departure here is the United 737-800 going to Denver, Colorado. I've flown this route on pretty much every single time that it's offered at this point in my life. I fly to Denver a lot. Like, I'm pretty sure the second most common place that I exist in the last year is the Denver airport. Second only to home. That puts it into perspective. Just in terms of like hours spent and times visited and stuff like that. Like it's so much. Like I've cut a couple United trip reports from my schedule just because like why would I you know, edit a video of the exact same thing? Yeah, we are at 2 hours, 9 minutes, and 33 seconds on today's stream. Thanks so much for being here, everybody. Appreciate your support. There's a Learjet coming if you want to end after it. I mean, I think I'm doing okay so far. That's my last stream in Boise for a while, so I'm going up to Vancouver. So I don't mind being out here a little longer. Put sunscreen on. Whether it works is another question. I haven't had any comments really saying it's been laggy recently, but not to say that it hasn't been laggy. But anyway, our next departure is going to be this United Airbus A319 going to Chicago, what am I saying? Going to San Francisco, California. One of a few flights a day. They're actually adding a second second San Francisco flight and a second Chicago flight, which is going to be pretty epic. But they're also taking away a couple Denver flights, so it all cancels out. But regardless, it'll be more variety. Learjet estimated through this Delta pushing back right here. We'll focus on that for now. But we'll see what the last flight is. We still haven't hit 40 likes, so let's try to, let's try to do that. I am getting a little hungry though. I don't bring snacks with me because why try to eat while I'm talking on a live stream? so I will probably go and grab food after this. Loved my Blue Angels pictures the other day. Where did you take it? Actually, the Blue Angels had an air show in Twin Falls, Idaho, not too long ago. It's a tiny city, about 50,000 population. Amazed that they could handle an air show, which in hindsight they really couldn't handle an air show. It's all 2-lane streets all the way around there, and there's one sign like guiding you to the airport. It's insane. But regardless, it was a great air show. They did a very good job. Blue Angels were awesome. First time in 12 years seeing the Blue Angels. So yeah, I had fun taking those pictures, and I'm glad you liked them. At some point I'll post them as like official pictures, not just like Instagram stories. But yeah, really good stuff. Really enjoyed it. Glad you did too. And apparently there's a bunch of Boise Airport plane spotters there, and I didn't know. So that was a missed opportunity. Oops. But, oh well, that's fine. That is a really interesting car over there. I don't even know if it shows up well on the camera or not. Yeah, no, Twin Falls is about 2 hours away. It's a 2-hour drive. And yes, I did do that drive. Brought a buddy with me, but I did do the drive. I drove all the way there and all the way back in the same day. And boy, was it worth it. I would do it again in a heartbeat. If I had the time, of course. Not a lot going on right now. It's Twin Falls, not Twin Cities. The Twin City is Minneapolis, just for future reference. Do they have an airport? And if so, would you consider streaming there? They have an airport, yes. It's one Delta E-175 a day, and then a couple charter flights. It is a very small airport, and it would not be worth the drive to stream there on a normal day. I did consider doing a stream of the air show, but it was too last minute, and I could not. There was no way that was going to work out. And at some point in the next little bit, my camera should be giving me a battery warning, because it's been almost 2.5 hours and I'm still on the same battery, so I'm a little confused actually. Usually feel like it shouldn't last, especially in this heat, it shouldn't last that long. But I mean, honestly, Salt Lake and Portland are about 5 or 6 hours away. And then Seattle's about 7. So like those really aren't too far of drives in the future, at least. I probably can't do it now, but later I could do it later. And the local time here in Boise is 3:04 p.m. here on this fine Thursday afternoon. My name is Devin. Thanks so much for being here at Legitimate Aviation Live here atop the Boise Airport parking garage. If you do like what you're seeing, if you do like watching my content, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. Get notified of all the content that I post. Be sure to hit that like button on the stream. That's a little easier. Let's get to 40 likes by the end of the stream today. I would greatly appreciate your support, whatever that support looks like. It definitely means a lot to me here. We've had a pretty good, consistent viewer base today. We've pretty much stayed above 9 or 10 like the entire stream for the most part. The beginning was a bit rough, but we've pretty much had a good number of you. So thank you all so much for coming out and tuning in. Hope you're enjoying your popcorn and all those drinks that you brought. Alright, and we got a couple departures here. We'll go ahead and double check Flight Radar, make sure we got the right cities on these. Alright, good stuff. Is there any way you could stay 2 more hours for a UPS arrival? Unlikely, I'll be honest. Possibly. There's a chance, but that depends on a lot. Because I also have other stuff I need to get done today. We'll feel it out. You know, if things start, if the chat is like going crazy and there's tons of you talking and tons of stuff to talk about, because after these departures, it's going to be a very, very slow stream for quite a while. At least 30 minutes. So, it's got to be enough that we're not having like one active viewer. There's got to be something going on. So, I'm not saying no, but 2 hours is definitely a long time. That would put us at about 4.5 hours of a stream, which is a good length if my stream can handle it. It is my last Boise stream, which is why I'm not just immediately saying no. I am considering that factor, but it is also a matter of, is it worthwhile to use my cellular data to do this stream when I could have a bigger, more successful stream later? I don't know. But also, what are the odds I'm going to stream again in August? I also don't know. Because I've got a pretty busy August. Actually, I probably won't stream again until September. Probably going to be the last one for a while, now that I'm thinking about my schedule. Don't have a lot of time, so we'll see. I'm not putting an official end to the stream at any point. I just kind of end when it feels like a good time to end. So guess I'll just have to stick around and find out. I don't know, we'll see. I hate saying no because then if I decide to change my mind, then it's too late. Anyway, that Delta is going to Minneapolis, and this E-175 is going to Seattle. So, whoopty-doopty. And your mouse on the screen is going towards that subscribe button too, so all good things. I'll be honest, once I'm done streaming, I will not be sticking around. Yeah, once I'm done streaming, I will be leaving this place. Although we do have this Delta flight right here, I'm sure it's going to be leaving soon. We'll see. Again, I'm not denying anything. I'm just saying, I'm just being honest with you. Although my stream right at the current second says excellent connection. So that's a good sign, but I guarantee in the next 1 minute it's going to change. It's said excellent connection like 65 times today. Although I promise you, when I go to Vancouver, there will be cargo action. There will be plenty of action. So if I don't get the UPS here, I guarantee you there will be at least one UPS in Vancouver. I don't know exactly when they leave, like time-wise, so I might not be there at the right time all the time. But at some point, I will get a UPS. Something tells me that Delta's not leaving. At least anytime soon. Alright. And that's about all the action for the next little bit. So, if there was a time to do a bathroom break, it would be now. You will not miss a whole lot. The UPS aircrafts are different time zones in YVR. Yes, there will be different time zones, but at the same time, I will be streaming in YVR at like 5 p.m. or 3 p.m. So I will actually be there later in the day. Which won't help, actually, now that I'm thinking about the logic there. That doesn't make any sense. But no matter what, I'll be there later in the day, so the time zones probably won't match up nearly as well. But it's only between Boise and Vancouver, it's only an hour difference. So, I mean, it's not too crazy. Oh, and my computer's giving me a low battery warning. Let me go ahead and plug my computer in real quick. Honestly, it's perfect timing. There's nothing happening right now. I can afford to plug my computer in real quick. Excuse me, little fly. This fly has literally just been chilling here. Oh, that's the other thing I have to do. Every time I come out and stream, I start remembering all the chores, all the stuff I have to do. All right, well. There you go. That's a view right there. I don't think YVR has UPS or Emirates, but I may be mistaken. I'm pretty sure they have UPS. Now that you say that, I'm doubting myself, but I'm 90% sure they do. It's too big of an airport not to have UPS, let's be honest. Emirates, you're correct. They do not have Emirates, which is kind of surprising, actually. But I mean, I think it's because Emirates flies to Seattle, and so they use Seattle to cover both cities. Rob, thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for joining us. Is this a little of Boise with a live stream? Oh yeah. Yes, indeed it is. We are here up atop the Boise Airport parking garage, and right now you're looking at the street because that's currently more interesting than the tarmac. But yes, this is the Boise Airport. And yes, it is live. It is 3:16 p.m. here in Boise. I don't know if that changes anything, but see, and just now it went from excellent connection to no data back to excellent connection. Really cool. Thank you guys so much for 33 likes on today's stream. We're trying to reach 41 by the end of today. I don't know how long we're going to be here, but we're going to be here till I quit. We're currently at 2 hours 29 minutes for 2 hours 30 minutes for today's stream. Thank you so much for everyone who has come out and supported the stream. I feel like my English is just getting worse every stream. Probably because I'm tired and I'm a little hungry, and that's not a good mix for being in 89-degree heat. It's okay, I have water. I'm not hurting myself. I don't think. At least no more than, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm going to stop talking. Now, if we could get to 615 subscribers, ooh, or 620, that would be really cool. Just wink, wink, nod, nod, hint, hint. I'm kidding, but also not really. I'm kidding about, you better subscribe. But I'm not kidding that it would be cool if you did. I don't talk to myself at this point. If you're new or you're just joining us, feel free to say hi in the chat. Would love to start a conversation here, get things rolling, because it's going to be a hot minute before something happens on the tarmac. that delta you're looking at is likely our next departure. Besides maybe in Alaska at some point. So, you know, just to put that into perspective. Also, if you like watching flight reviews and stuff like that, I just posted an Amtrak video, a review of the Amtrak Cascades, and it's not doing so well. So after the stream, if you're bored and you want to know what it's like to fly on the good old ancient Amtrak train, be sure to check that out. Poor Boise is losing the only East Coast nonstop, Alaska to Orlando. Yeah, I was pretty sad about that, but at the same time, Alaska ended all of their unique flights that they announced last year. So I didn't feel too bad because Sacramento also lost their Orlando flights. So, you know, as long as we're not the only ones, I don't feel as bad. I think they just did those just to, you know, do them. I don't think they really expected success out of them. Although Orlando in the wintertime is the 20th busiest nonstop destination out of Boise. And I don't really believe that it wasn't popular enough because I only did it 3 times a week. So, you know, I'm fairly confident there was enough traffic because there just was. But whatever, we'll see. Hopefully we'll get a Dulles flight or something here in the next year or so. I could see that happening because there's a lot of... I feel like every city in the country should have a non-stop flight to DC. I feel like that should just be a requirement. Everybody should be able to go to the country's capital, whether it's for business or for tourism. That's why I'm going into the aviation industry. That's why I like aviation. I want to find out why. I was so excited when JetBlue started flying to Boise. Absolutely. I was hyped. That's why I was on the inaugural. I was like, oh my goodness. Besides Virgin America, they were my favorite airline. Super inspiring airline. And they were here in my home city, and I was pumped. And then they left. And I was like, wow. Yeah, it does seem like a no-brainer. But, oh well, it's Boise. It seems like companies treat Boise like trash. Like, nobody respects Boise. They're like, oh, it's just some random Idaho city. No one goes there. But, I mean, the metro population of this area is, I think, 900,000 at this point, or it's close to that. So, I mean, we're close to 1 million people in this area. It's definitely not it's a small city compared to, you know, the big ones like Chicago and New York and stuff like that. But it isn't the smallest. Where is that flight coming from? I don't remember seeing that. That is a Delta flight from Seattle. This is like the first piece of action in like 15 minutes. Fantastic. This is an E175. Delta has between 5 and 7 daily flights to Seattle, all of course on the E175, because what else would it be? Oh my goodness, and my screen is too dim, it's hard for me to see. Honestly, perfect timing for the battery to struggle. This is really the only piece of action we have here. So let me go ahead and swap this out. Boise, though, is better connected than it used to be. Absolutely. Oh, I did not like that. There is a wasp. Was a wasp. I don't know where it went. And I don't want to know where it went. Yeah, no, there's a lot more flights out of Boise now. It's really cool. I love seeing, especially Alaska with all their mainline, well, some of their mainline flights and all their new destinations. It's great. But Houston is no longer operated here. We lost the Houston flight. Okay, sorry about this. We gotta change the battery. The stream is not over. Do not leave. I am simply changing the battery. Battery changing. Shouldn't take too long. Alright, there is a next arrival here, so let's try to get this back up and running as quickly as possible. You're gonna see me for about 10 seconds here. Hey. You like my shirt? I point this out every time, but it's a legitimate aviation shirt that is not available for sale, and you cannot buy it, but it is cool. Come on. What's the fix that I always do for this? I think I have to do that. I always forget how to. I think that should do it. Hopefully we get this fixed just in time for the Southwest. Why aren't you working? There we go. Whew. Perfect timing. I'm gonna take a bow for that one. Immaculate timing there. That's a Southwest 737-700 coming in from Chicago Midway. What a grand moment that was. All right. Put the battery away so it doesn't overheat. What are we at for this battery? Okay, my spare battery is at 50%, not the camera battery, my power battery that basically runs everything. Okay. We can drop this back. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, the Houston flight. I don't know why that was scratched. They had 2 daily flights and then they had no flights. And they keep putting in their schedule for like a year out and then they'll delete it. And I'm a little confused what's going on with that. I don't know. Next arrival, private jet from Windsor. Oh, yeah, I think I missed that already. Next arrival is going to be an Alaska E-175 from Seattle, Washington. It's going to be landing here in about 30 minutes. Right, that's not There's not even a point of mentioning that, but whatever. And the next departure is going to be got a Delta E-175 going to Los Angeles, followed by an Alaska 737-900 going to Portland, also both in about 15 to 30 minutes. Bring Boise to Houston. Yes, I fully agree. They should bring that Houston flight back, and they should fly it mainline. That would be the dream, but they won't. Honestly, if United brought something to like Dulles or Newark instead of Houston, I would be totally fine with that. Houston is not an appealing city for flights. Like, I don't really care if Houston comes back or not, really. I'd prefer us have more East Coast flights out of here, or mainline flights out of here, than have a flight to Houston. So, Delta has, if Delta could add a Detroit flight, United add a Dulles flight, American add Charlotte, pretty well. Maybe have Breeze or something fly to Florida. That'd be pretty epic. Breeze wouldn't do that. You're probably right, but there's always the hope. The A220 is far more efficient than the 737-900. So, and it's less people that you have to put on it. So I could see them maybe being more successful on that route. Why hasn't Southwest tried doing a Houston hobby route? That's actually a great question. I've kind of wondered that myself. I think originally it's because United took all the hits. Southwest was like, well, if they can't succeed, we won't succeed. And then part of it, I think, is Southwest probably just doesn't have any slots. They use 2 gates at the airport, and they're constantly filling them. Do I think they could probably fill them more efficiently, just from how big of gaps they have throughout the day? Probably, but no idea what the airport has for rules on that. I have a feeling once a new concourse is built, we're going to reach a point at this airport that there's a lot of demand for new flights, but there's no space. And then when the new concourse opens, they're going to have probably within like a year and a half, throughout the next year and a half after it opens, they're going to have probably 4 or 5 new routes, just automatically, probably a new airline too. Like, I would not be surprised if Breeze is just waiting till there's more space at the airport. Yeah, I mean, the new terminal, I mean, what I have a feeling will happen is you'll have Alaska take over at least half of that new terminal, because they seem to be pretty constrained in terms of space, you know, flying all these E-175s, and it's just a mess where they're operating. So they'll probably, I think, take over a good chunk of it. United will take over at least 2 gates, just because they've been around the longest, and typically airports go by seniority. So United has a high seniority by far because they started in Boise. So like over 100 years. So they'll probably get first dibs on new gates. Yeah, I have a feeling the new gates will be Alaska and United sharing space, and then they'll probably still have Alaska in the basement gates. They might move like Frontier and Spirit to those. But what I have a feeling is going to happen is they'll take down all the sea gates and rebuild them as mainline gates, as like the next phase of expansion, which will actually decrease the total number of gates, but it'll increase the capacity. And then the Boise airport will basically look like a skinny version of the Austin airport. Less space, but, you know, pretty much the same amount of gates by that point. What are they doing with the terminal when the new one opens? So the B concourse, of which you're looking at now, that is going to be that's going to be renovated. So they're going to do a full remodel of that concourse, which also means that the new concourse being built will probably not actually add capacity for another 4 years, because they'll probably start remodeling this one, and that'll close off gates for, you know, several months at a time. But yeah, this one will be fully remodeled, and I think they do plan to build something over here. I think it's supposed to be like a transportation hub or something for like Ubers and buses, taxis, and I think also a big cargo facility as well. So we'll see. Yeah, I have a feeling Frontier and Spirit will probably stay in this terminal, or they'll move to the C concourse. I really hope they add more flights here. I do, as cheap as they are, I actually do really like seeing the low-cost airlines have, you know, multiple daily flights and stuff like that. It's just kind of variety at this point. You know, seeing Delta and United, American, it's nothing special, really. But again, that's several years out, so hopefully I'll be the biggest streamer in the Northwest by that point. Hint, hint, wink, wink. They could build it in the dirt way across. That's what they should do. They should have just built a new airport, honestly. Because, like, what do you do after this expansion? There's no room. But what do I know? I have a feeling it'll just be a concourse extension. So this concourse will just keep going out into the FedEx area. I mean, they probably will move the cargo out to the third runway. That is like their next future expansion. But again, it's all in due time, you know? Everything takes time, so and they're not going to reveal plans until they know for sure what they're doing, so I'm just kind of guessing. Making an educated guess. All right, I think we're gonna have the Alaska 737-900 to Portland be our last departure of the day. That sets us out about 25-ish minutes. We'll see. I'm looking at the arrivals list, and quite a few arrivals in the 4 o'clock hour. So, we'll see. But, yeah. I don't know for sure, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. Does the Boise staff watch these? Probably. I was told at one point that they do. I don't know how often. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they watch. I mean, let's be real. Most people who work at airports like plane spotting. So this is like free plane spotting for them if they're working an office job. All right, and I believe that Delta, I want to say it's going to Seattle, but now I'm like hesitating. It's going to Los Angeles. Okay. Thank you guys so much for hitting 41 likes today. Really do appreciate your support. It really does mean a lot to me. We've hit our goal for the day for likes. Obviously, if we get more than that, I can't even see that Learjet. Where is it? There it is. Goodness gracious. If we can get to 50 likes in one stream, that'd be even cooler, but you know. They're just 20 minutes out. Well, I mean, I think the Portland flight's about 20 minutes out as well, leaving. So, maybe. We'll see. Again, if there seems to be a steady flow of arrivals when we're getting ready to wrap up, I'll keep going. If we're at one concurrent viewer and that happens, then we won't keep going. So, because it does depend on how many people are actually, like, tuning in. Because, you know. It's also toasty out here, and it's sticky, and it's just bad. The weather is bad. It's so dry out here. That's what it is. All the dust in the air. Like, you put sunscreen on, and the dust sticks to your skin. And it's just awful. It makes you feel like sadness. But don't worry, I'm sacrificing to do the stream. I'm kidding. I love being out here. Never think otherwise. And just in case you guys are interested, in case you do live in the Boise area and you guys want to come and say hi, I do have these really awesome legitimate aviation stickers, which you can't see. There we go. And I hand these out to only people who come and visit me and random people on the street who seem like they like stickers. So if you happen to be in the Boise area, be sure to come out, say hi, get a legitimate aviation sticker today. And these are not available for sale, so don't try and go buy them. Move FedEx across the way it needs to happen so the FD can have their own area. I'm sure they're thinking about it. I'm sure they're thinking about it. I'm sure that's already been talked about, honestly. Well, I mean, UPS is at the end of the runway. UPS is all the way down west of here. And then you have Amazon in that blue building way far out. So, you never know. It's all possible. I've supposedly, the lot next to that SkyWest hangar that's empty, just the empty space there, apparently that's owned by SkyWest, and it's supposed to be like their expansion at some point. So supposedly we might have 2 SkyWest hangars here at some point, which would be crazy. Although it wouldn't be helpful in terms of having more mainline flights. But having, a second maintenance hangar would be insane. Honestly, I think Alaska should build a maintenance hangar here, but that's kind of my own biased opinion. Why doesn't FedEx move near UPS? Because there's no space. That is the sole and only reason. There is no space over there, because that's also all the general aviation stuff and military stuff. There's a lot of stuff over there. It's pretty tight. So I can't really zoom in, but you see like right where that delta is way out there and that hangar, not the light blue one, but the gray one, the gray hangar. That's the SkyWest hangar. And that one's already open, that's already operational, it's been there for a while. But right next to that, on the left side, there's just an open gap. And that would be the supposed new hangar that SkyWest has. Now, has this been announced by SkyWest? No. I found this in the airport plans, which is public, by the way. If you are ever so interested to see their expansion plan, you can look it up. And it is there. And you better believe I looked through it. Because I am a nerd. So I know all of the things about the airport expansion, as much as the public is allowed to. And apparently they opened some new concessions in the airport, so I might go check that out. Maybe I'll even go eat there. They opened a pre-security restaurant. Thank you so much for 44 likes on today's stream. That's 44 more likes than we had when we started. Take that as you will. I don't know why I said that. What's that whitish gray building that you have near Amazon Air? Give me 1 sec. We're gonna get this Delta going to Los Angeles real quick. By the way, thanks so much for liking and subscribing, ringing that bell. Really do appreciate your support. Trying to get to something like 50 likes today. We've already hit our goal like twice, so it's just kind of a random goal, but 50 likes would be cool. We're trying to reach 750 subscribers by the end of the year. We are well on our way to getting that done. If you want to be a part of history and getting us to that goal, please feel free to subscribe and ring that bell to get notified as well. I will hopefully do something special for that 750 subscribers. I've got some things in mind, but I'm not going to plan it until I know that we have 750 subscribers. So, because I mean, all right, whitish gray building. Well, there is the gray building that looks like it's attached to the SkyWest hangar that's actually really far away. And those are just, that's just like a factory of some sort or whatever, industrial building. And then you have the building on the other side, those tanks. And those are tanks with a hangar next to that for some sort of charter operation, I think. Ring that button, ring that bell. You better ring that bell. The local time here is 3:50 p.m. My name is Devin. I am your one and only host of the Legitimate Aviation Livestream Corporation, or whatever you call it. If you are new, you know what to do. If you're not new and you haven't done what you're supposed to do, then just know I'm a little bit disappointed in you. Just a little bit. But anyway, we're here at the Boise Airport up atop the parking garage. Yeah, near the tanks is just the tiny building is like a little private charter hangar, and behind the building, that's just another factory, I think. And then the one with all the hangars, what am I saying? With all the cranes, that's what it is. That is actually the Micron expansion. You can kind of see it in the background there. It is a multi-billion-dollar expansion here in Boise. It is the biggest expansion under one company, I think, ever. And once they finish that, they're building it again. It was one massive chip fab, and now they're building a second one. That was a completely separate announcement, which is crazy. So Micron, who is already headquartered here, is going to have, like, their facility is going to be like a tenth of the size of the city itself, which is just going to be insanity. But really cool to see. I just noticed FedEx hasn't opened their doors yet for loading. Why is that? Well, I mean, the flight leaves at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. So if I remember correctly, they only open the door like maybe an hour and a half before. So they probably won't open it till 4:30 or 5. Because, I mean, if you think about it, it is just like big parcels. So they really only fit like 15 of those parcels in that plane. So you could, you know, one probably takes 7 minutes. So you could do all of them in a pretty short amount of time. Looks like we do have an Alaska Airlines pushing back here. I believe it's that 737-900 going to Portland, Oregon. Leaving a few minutes early out of the gate. That will be our next departure. We'll go ahead and just whoop over to the Alaska over there. All right, and if you have a question, comment, complaint, concern, anything like that, feel free to say it in the chat. We got the chat pulled up here. I'm able to respond to you. Love the conversation. Don't be shy. How far is Alaska out? Because the Learjet is right behind them. I don't know how far the Alaska flight is arriving, but the departure that we're looking at is leaving in about 10 minutes, or maybe even less. I probably won't wrap up after this flight. It depends. It looks like we do have an arrival of some sort. Maybe you're looking at it. Yeah, it looks like we got the Alaska flight from Seattle to Boise. Followed by Spirit, American, and Southwest. We'll see. We'll see how long everything takes. It also depends on my battery, because I don't have a spare battery after this. So once this one dies, that's it. So we're kind of going off of that. My legs are starting to hurt standing all this time. Charger for the battery. So it's not a matter of charging the battery. It's a matter of that. Well, actually, I guess I could have brought a charger for the battery. I didn't really think about that. I cannot charge the camera itself while using it. That's the main thing. So if I charge a battery, I have to charge it completely separately, which, you know, throws a rock in the fan, or whatever the phrase is. How am I looking on? Okay, so my big battery has 23% left. Don't know how long that's gonna last. It's pretty inconsistent. I think I could probably get another 30 minutes out of that, 40 minutes maybe. Because it's also probably getting pretty hot. So, like the battery itself. So it's probably running through. It does have a fan and stuff, but you know, so like a fan's only gonna do so much. And I think it's already running at full capacity. So do I see the Learjet on final? I see a jet on final. I don't know if it's a Learjet. It's way out there. Actually, I don't even see an airplane on flight radar. I'm not seeing it on flight radar at all. Huh. Intriguing for sure. All right, next up on the departure board is an Alaska 737-900 going to Portland. That is Portland, Oregon. Thanks so much for liking and ringing that bell. Really do appreciate you. Let's try to get to 50 likes today, and we're trying to reach 750 subscribers by the end of the year. Did you miss Learjet? I didn't see any jet on flight radar. Something landed just a second ago that was not on flight radar. It was pretty small though. Alright, well, it looks like we're kind of coming to a slow point here. If it was a Learjet, where would it park? Literally anywhere, honestly. It could park in a lot of places. The most likely is going to be over there. Somewhere we can't see. Boy, oh boy. Alright, we're getting to the point that my phone is starting to run out of battery. So I need to figure out a way to shade this poor thing so that the battery doesn't get too hot in the sun. There's a helicopter. Oh, okay, so it must have, I don't know if it was the Learjet you were looking for, but that was, then in that case it has landed. Wasn't super close up, again, because my zoom, but I did film it. So if you were looking to see that, you can always go back earlier in the stream there. Okay, I'm gonna look at Flight Radar and see how far everything is to call it a day. And I think my phone is too. Got a Southwest landing in 30 minutes. That's pretty far away. Spirit landing in 30 minutes. Phoenix landing in 30 minutes. Another Southwest in 45 minutes. FedEx is an hour, or UPS is an hour away. I'll be real, I don't know. That's a long time. I don't have a lot of days left in Boise either, so I'm like trying to weigh how much time I spend out here. I'm thinking. Because I mean, there's not a whole lot that we're gonna see after this Delta takes off. It's gonna be probably 20 minutes of nothing. So that's kind of my issue. We've done pretty well. We've done pretty well today. We're at 46 likes. We haven't reached 50, so there's that. We're at 616 subscribers. That's pretty good. Thank you guys so much for your support there. But I also feel like you could probably tell in my voice that I do not have as much energy as I had at the beginning of the stream. The sun is crazy out here. Oh, see, there we go. The FedEx just opened its door. 53 is not much better, I'll be honest. Oh, do I want to stand here for another 45 minutes? That would get me out of here by 5 o'clock. That's like basically the end of the day. Yeah, I definitely see the traffic inbound. There's a lot of traffic inbound, but it's all 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes away. Yeah, having a midlife crisis. Oh, I don't know. I won't end the stream until I decide to end the stream. How about that? I'll stand here until I can't stand here any longer. That might be after the traffic, that might be before. I do not know. Genuinely have no idea. Or the internet will end the stream for me. That would be crazy. Not really, that would be expected. Alright. We'll go ahead and wait on this Delta at least. We'll get this Delta departure and then kind of go from there. We're at 47 likes. We are so stinking close to 50. Let's get to 50, guys. And food definitely sounds good right now. I am hungry. Alright, I'll tell you what. If we can get to 50 likes before this Delta takes off, I'll stay for 30 more minutes. If we can get to 620 subscribers before this Delta takes off, I will stay for the UPS. I know, bribery. Because I do not want to be in this heat any longer. So it is entirely up to you guys if I stay out here another hour. Because to me, that's insanity. I don't want to be here for another hour before this takes off. Yeah, I know that. But, no. I'm running, man. I'm running around one. I've 17 subscribers in probably 15 minutes. I feel like that's not away from, like, I have no, like, it isn't insane. I said it's getting gold. That's cool. Unfortunately, I want to, like, anything, you know, there's not. There you go, the Delta's pushing me. This guy's going to Seattle. Yeah, I'm watching a million flight day. Alright, let's go more liked. You have. Oh, you will. Good bother. I'm losing my mind. Oh, I'm also running out of water. That's a minor concern of mine as well. I've got like one more sip of water. I'm savoring it. I am, I promise. That's the other thing. I set those goals, but if I run out of water, I don't know how much longer I can stand out here. Like, legitimately, it's hot. Like, I don't know if I can handle, I don't know if I can handle standing out here for an hour with no water. That might get too much. So we'll see. Maybe I shouldn't set goals like that then. I didn't realize how little water I had. 6:18 though. We are close. Completed already. What? Yeah, I am well aware of my sub count. Don't you worry about that one. Yeah, well, I take back those goals, not because I don't want to reach them. I 100% want to reach them, but I'm also almost out of water. So I don't know if I can actually handle being out here for an hour. I haven't ended, you know. I'm not going to end it until I absolutely am losing my mind. I am still here, and that's what matters. Oh, I just need action. I need airplanes. Where are all the airplanes? See, this right here, this is what they mean by almost at capacity. There's nothing here. What happened to my mic? That's a great question. That is a great question. I don't know what happened to my mic. Hello, hello, hello. Ba ba ba. It's still working on my end. Is it not working on yours? Am I just too quiet? I don't know. I hope it's not like staticky or whatever. Yeah, I don't see anything, nothing on my end that's causing problems. What just happened? You can't hear me? Can't hear me at all? That's a little worrisome. Okay, that's good. Yeah, because I was like, it shows that it's working. It might just be my equipment is overheating. Like, just huh. That's not good. That might be the end of the stream. We'll see. I don't know what just happened. Video capture device. You're going to be looking at me for a second. Yay! How's it going? All right. Working on this. Huh. That's let's see if this, maybe my camera overheated. No, it still works. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, we got our first arrival. It's a Southwest 737-700 from San Diego. Yeah, people make fake accounts, and then like you have all these non-active accounts part of your channel. Oh well.